I was telling y'all, your boy Rico from Street School is coming with a special late night edition video. I already did 2 videos earlier today, but I wanted to make sure I got this one done. I feel like y'all need to know who is out and who is in versus the Giants for this rematch this upcoming Sunday at 8:20 p.m. Of course, I will be live streaming during that game. Make sure you pull up for that. But of course, today we got to talk about everything going on with injury reports. And also, Landon Collins is being upgraded from the practice squad, I believe, the first time this season since he's gone to the Giants. So I think that's going to be really interesting that Landon Collins is technically going to get his revenge game ×2. Because, I mean, he used to play for the Giants. Then when he played for us, he got his revenge game against the Giants. And now he went back to the Giants. He gets his part 2 of revenge with the Giants again for the sequel against us as another revenge game. Really crazy either way. But again, just to let y'all know, Landon Collins probably will play in this upcoming rematch, which is going to be really interesting. I'm excited to just see how the players feel about him on the field. Are they going to pull up to him, dap him up, say how's everything going type of thing? Because I'm pretty sure if they had it their way, they would love to have Landon Collins back on the team because of his leadership. But with the way things have gone, are they going to congratulate him, or are they not going to show him any love on that field? They better not. I want to see Brian Robinson run right through Landon Collins' chest if he gets the opportunity to. But again, we're going to talk about all of the injury report stuff, like who's out for the Commanders and Giants, who's questionable for the Commanders and Giants, and then who looks like they're pretty much good to go for this upcoming rematch. And then I also have some other random things I want to share with y'all before the end of the video as well. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one, make sure you pull up every game day, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever, for the live play-by-play analysis that I do for every Commanders game, regular season, even postseason. I'm gonna speak it into existence, and y'all know even during the preseason I live stream and do play-by-play and everything. So make sure you pull up every Commanders game day. We laugh and learn together, all of that type of stuff. So make sure you pull up for that. And without further ado, let's get it. All right, again, just to update y'all, Landon Collins is expected to be elevated from the practice squad for Sunday's game against the Commanders. Since this will be a popular move based on my mentions, that's a tweet from Dan Dugan. On the flip side, linebacker Tay Crowder is expected to be a healthy scratch per sources. That's very interesting. So they're gaining Landon Collins, but they're losing Tay Crowder. And again, he's a healthy scratch, so it's not even an injury thing. He's not even on the injury report. Very interesting. Now to dive into the injury report, especially our side of it, starting with the out, you have Saahdiq Charles. Apparently, he suffered a concussion injury either late in Wednesday's practice or early in Thursday's practice, but he didn't participate in practice on Thursday or Friday, and he is out. He's our only out, though. That's good. The Giants have a few outs. They have one guy that went to IR as well. Even though our list is longer overall injury report wise, their list is worse because they have more outs and we don't have anybody getting sent to IR. They do, and then they have more questionables than we have as well, but we have more names overall. But luckily for us, the majority of our guys look like they're good to go. Again, our only out is Saahdiq Charles, and he's a backup offensive lineman anyway, so it's not like we lose much anyway. If Saahdiq Charles is playing, we already kind of have a problem because that means somebody else got hurt. So I think we should be straight there. And then as far as the questionables go, you have Benjamin St-Juste, which is really big. We need him back. We saw Christian Holmes was not ready for the moment. Danny Johnson stepped in and played fairly well, but it wasn't what Benjamin St-Juste would have given us. Benjamin St-Juste doesn't allow that deep bomb to Darius Slayton. He probably doesn't allow that touchdown to, I forgot the wide receiver's name. I always forget his name. But, I mean, Christian Holmes literally allowed 14 of the Giants' points last Sunday. Their only touchdowns were because of Christian Holmes. Because after the Christian Holmes deep bomb, they just ran right up the middle with Saquon Barkley. Without that deep bomb to Darius Slayton, they probably don't score a touchdown that drive. So being able to go from Christian Holmes to Benjamin St-Juste is going to be a huge help for us, period. So he's questionable, but from everything that Ron Rivera has said so far, at the end he said we'll see as far as his status for the game, but it looked positive. I mean, I already uploaded a video of the clips of him running around during practice. I think he looks good to go. And again, we need him. We need Benjamin St-Juste. I love Cole Holcomb. I would love to have him back as as well. But obviously, what we saw from last game with Christian Holmes, we need Benjamin St-Juste in the worst way. And I feel like we can shut down their passing game, which Benjamin St-Juste should be able to do. I think forcing them to run and being able to, focus on stopping the run will be huge for our defense and not allowing them to even score as many points as they scored last time. And then you also have defensive end Chase Young. That's also in the clips from the practice clips that are uploaded earlier today as well. And he's questionable, but I've been hearing a lot of optimism from him and Rivera, but we'll see. I don't absolutely know for sure if he'll play, but it sounds like it's quite likely, and especially having the whole bye week to get ready, having 2 weeks in between the last time we played the Giants and this upcoming time we'll play them Sunday night. I think it's quite likely that Chase Young will play. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I'm pretty optimistic about it. I got to see it to believe it type of thing, but at the same time, I'm a little optimistic. Then you also have F.A. Abada, who he was good to go all practice until he was limited today with a finger injury. So apparently he hurt his finger in Friday's practice, as in today. Well, again, this video is going to come out late, but Friday he hurt his finger and he was limited because of it. He left practice and he looks like he's questionable to go. He may play, he may not. And then lastly, as far as questionables, you have Cam Sims, the wide receiver, with a back injury, and he was limited all throughout the week. So that was pretty much expected. By the end of the week, I was expecting him to be questionable, and we'll see. I mean, he doesn't really contribute much on the offensive side of the ball, but he is pretty big on special teams, so I would prefer to have Cam Sims out there for sure. And who never knows, he may be like a secret weapon because he doesn't get targeted. Maybe the Giants wouldn't expect, and he'll probably be wide open. We'll see. Who knows? But I'm hoping, as far as Cam Sims go, just receiver period, with the Giants probably going to focus on Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. That means that I should see a lot of Taylor Heineke to De'Ami Brown and Jahan Dotson to make up for it. I mean, those guys, the Giants can't cover everybody, and we're going to talk about exactly why. First of all, just period, even fully healthy, I don't feel like the Giants can cover all of our weapons on offense, especially when you include the tight ends and running backs as well. But even on top of all of that, they have injuries as well. And so I feel like I'm expecting to see a lot of Heineke to Jahan Dotson and De'Ami Brown. I'm expecting to see those jersey numbers quite a bit. I'm expecting to hear those jersey numbers called quite a bit. And just going back to Benjamin St-Juste, just to let you know, he's missed the past 2 games with a mid-ankle sprain, and I'm hoping that he returns for this game. And we know Chase Young hasn't played since last November, tearing his ACL against the Buccaneers. And then Cam Sims apparently got hurt against the Giants, and F.A. Abada again got hurt on Friday. So that just gives you a little bit of injury history for those guys. Then as far as non-questionable, they're good to go, which is great news. You have the guys that were limited in practice this week: Antonio Gibson, Andrew Norwell, and Brian Robinson. Those are your 2 main running backs and your starting left guard. They were limited in practice all week, but they're good to go. Not even questionable. That's great news. And then as far as guys that participated in Friday's practice in full, we know for sure they're 100% to go, is tackle Samuel Cosmi, who may play some right guard. We'll see how that goes. And then you have linebacker Jamin Davis, who suffered a thumb injury against the Giants. You have wide receiver Dax Milne, who's missed a couple of games as well. He missed the last 2 games. He's been out just as long as Benjamin St-Juste. That's our primary returner, but also technically like a depth wide receiver. But again, I'm expecting to see a lot of Jahan Dotson and De'Ami Brown if the Giants focus on Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. And then you have James Smith-Williams and Montez Sweat, who both suffered concussions at some point in that Giants game, but they passed the protocols. They're fully good to go. Again, they fully participated in practice on Friday. And then you also have guard Trai Turner, who's been battling injuries pretty much all year, but it looks like this is probably the healthiest he's been since the beginning of the season. And maybe he's your starting right guard and Samuel Cosmi is your starting right tackle. We have a lot of options. I already know Wes Schweitzer will be our starting center. I believe I talked about that in a video before. If I haven't, now you know Wes Schweitzer will be our starting center. I'm pretty sure Andrew Norwell is our starting left guard, and Charles Leno will be our starting left tackle. So as far as the left side of the offensive line, we pretty much already know that. The right side, if I had to guess, I would say Trai Turner right guard, Samuel Cosmi right tackle. But honestly, I'd prefer Samuel Cosmi right guard and then Cornelius Lucas right tackle. But again, I think it would be probably Trai Turner, Samuel Cosmi to the right of him. And then Sadiq Charles is struggling with a concussion injury. So your backup tackle is Cornelius Lucas if there's an injury to Cosmi and Charles Leno. And then your backup guard is probably Chris Paul. And then your backup center is probably Nick Martin starting if he's active. And then going to the Giants, man, it's really ugly for those guys, man. I feel for them. As far as outs go, you have offensive lineman Jeff Azudu and Shane Lemieux. And y'all remember Shane Lemieux. If you've been on my channel for a while, he was one of the guys I wanted us to draft a couple of years ago. So shouts out to the Giants for taking a chance on him. And I wish we had him, but it is what it is. But sadly, he's hurt right now. And then you have defensive back Adoree Jackson, another guy I wanted us to draft out of USC to be like a potential game-changing punt returner and corner. But he's out as well. So they're without 2 offensive linemen and their starting corner. And then linebacker Ellison Smith with an Achilles injury was limited on Wednesday, didn't participate on Thursday, and then went to IR on Friday. I mean, literally just kept getting worse and worse and worse as far as status reports. And then questionable, you have Daniel Bellinger, the tight end. You have wide receiver Richie James. You have defensive back Nick McLeod. You have linebacker Jahad Ward and defensive lineman Leonard Williams, who missed a lot of time in our previous game last week with an injury. But it looks like he's questionable, so he'll probably play, but he may be limited a little bit. But you can notice when Leonard Williams was out of the game that we were able to run the ball a little bit better. So I'm hoping he doesn't play, but if he does, we just got to adjust. And then, of course, in full, you have Dexter Lawrence, defensive back Julian Love, and linebacker Micah McFadden, who were all full participants in Thursdays and Fridays practices. Dexter Lawrence and Julian Love just had some rest days on Wednesday. But all 3 of those guys participated in practice fully on Friday. They're good to go, no questions asked. So again, we have more names overall on our injury reports, but as far as questionables and outs, the Giants got us beat, which is not a good thing for them, which is a good thing for us. And again, I feel like some of the biggest keys are Leonard Williams being banged up, them not having a few offensive linemen and Adoree Jackson, and then on our end, Benjamin St-Juste, Chase Young are the biggest keys who could potentially not end up playing. Also, before we go, again, I already told y'all about the whole Landon Collins situation. I'm excited about seeing that. But shouts out to the Tay and Todd podcast. Make sure y'all follow them on Twitter with that exact name. Make sure you follow them on YouTube and everything. Subscribe, all of that. Great content. They do film sessions and everything. Make sure you check them out. But they tweeted out, this is a great point. That's why I wanted to bring it to y'all attention. The Commanders can clinch a playoff spot in week 16 if the following happens. If we beat the New York Giants and San Francisco, again, this is week 15, so we will have to beat the New York Giants and San Francisco in consecutive weeks. The Lions will have to lose to the New York Jets or Carolina, so they will have to lose either one of these next 2 games. If we beat the Giants and they lose to Minnesota, and if the Seahawks lose to Kansas City. So that's a lot of things that will have to go right for us to already have clinched the playoff spot before we even play the Browns. Remember, we play the Giants this upcoming weekend, Sunday night. Then it's the 49ers. Then it's the Browns. Then it's the Cowboys. If all of those things happen, we beat the Giants and the 49ers. The Lions lose to the Jets and Carolina. The Giants lose to us in Minnesota. And the Seahawks lose to Kansas City. We would have already have clinched the playoff spot by the end of week 16. So week 17 and week 18, we can sit starters if we want to. We can even throw Sam Howell out there to see what he looks like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really hoping that happens. I'm really hoping that we can go ahead and clinch a playoff spot by week 16. Of course, week 17 and week 18, as far as content goes and my live streams, it wouldn't be as good for my channel. But as a Commanders fan, I would love nothing more for us to go ahead and clinch that playoff berth by week 16. First of all, so I can stop stressing. And then also, I really want to see Sam Howell out there. I would love it if we just had the opportunity for Sam Howell to start week 17 and 18 against the Browns and the Cowboys. I think that would be excellent to watch. So let's go ahead and do that, man. Shouts out to the 10 Top Podcast for doing the math on that. And then also, before we go, Pro Football Focus ranked their most valuable wide receivers this season so far, according to their WAR ratings. It's not necessarily the best, but the most valuable. Number 1 is Devontae Adams. Number 2 is Justin Jefferson. Number 3 is Tyreek Hill. Number 4 is Stephon Diggs. And number 5 is Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is top 5. He needs more recognition, man. Number 6 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 7 is A.J. Brown. Number 8 is Jamar Chase. Number 9 is Garrett Wilson. And then number 10 is CeeDee Lamb. So Pro Football Focus feels like Terry McLaurin is the 5th most valuable wide receiver to his respective team in the NFL. So shouts out to that, man. And that's not even necessarily one of their grade things. That's one of their like advanced statistics things. So that's not even necessarily like a Pro Football Focus opinion. But then again, watching film is pretty subjective in itself. So who knows? But either way, I love hearing Terry McLaurin is top 5 in anything. That makes me happy to hear. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please leave a like on this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. Of course, make sure you support the channel. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors, whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now. now. Get in the comment section, let me know how you feel about everything I discussed. How do you feel about our injuries compared to the Giants? Do you feel like Chase Young and Benjamin St-Juste will be able to play? How much do we miss Cole Holcomb still as far as stopping Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley? And how do you feel like the Giants will fare with all of the injuries? Do you think we're basically playing half a team at this point? Do you feel like this victory should be a little bit easier than you originally thought? Or do you feel like nothing's guaranteed? And I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.